Alright, what's up guys, how's it here? And I literally was just scrolling through the internet watching videos in my recommended section. Um, Villain Deku series popped up and I was like, oh cool. Of course, being dyslexic, I don't read many, you know, other type of videos like comics and stuff. And I don't read like those, so I watch people read them or add music to stuff. And it was a Villain Deku series that had 8 parts and was music. And I like listening to music, so I just listened to the whole series over an hour. Um, it got me thinking about what I could do for a Villain Deku series. Of course, I already had one going, but I'm gonna stop that one. That was part one, and I didn't really, know what to do with it. So I'm scratching that whole idea, and this is gonna be it's gonna be good. We're starting off with the Deku Midoriya, age 5. He just found out he doesn't have. He found out age 4 that he was gonna be quirkless for a whole year. Bakugo was teasing him, making fun of him, called him Deku. Helpless loser who can do anything, all that bullshit. And one day, Izuku, had enough of it, and he ran off from school. And he bumped into this boy sitting in an alleyway. Izuku was 5. This kid must have been 15. He was crying, and he was not even 15. We'll say he was like 10, so 5 years older than Izuku. And of course, this is Shigaraki. Izuku asks, are you okay? Shigaraki responds with, leave me alone. And he goes, you seem like you need help. Let me help you. And, of course, Shigaraki's holding his leg, of course, pinky up, because he doesn't want to disintegrate it. He has a giant cut across his leg, and Izuku walks over and, rips off a piece of, clothing and ties it around the wound and sits there with Shigaraki. No one comes looking for them, and over time they hear sirens and things are going on. Battles are clashing, heroes are fighting, and they see a hero crawling away, screaming, "No, no, please let me live! I swear I won't try to stop you. I'm sorry." And then he gets dragged away, and he's screaming, "No!" And Zuko gets scared, and Shigaraki grabs him, because this kid's the only one who's been nice to him since he was born, and he's putting Izuku behind him. Two of them have gotten to know each other for the past, 20 minutes. They've sat together. Not overhaul. One for all walks over. No one comes for either of you two boys. Are you two siblings? And they both, Shigaraki responds with, go away. Whoever you are, just go away. Leave us alone. And All for One, says, no, I won't leave you in a chaotic, destructive place like this. I won't leave you here to get hurt. And those words ringing through Shigaraki's head, and, he takes All for One's hand, and Izuku, comes with him reluctantly as he's 5. He doesn't know what to do. He thinks these guys are nice. And, we skip 10 years. Izuku Midoriya has been trained by All for One, him and his adopted brother Shigaraki. People put up, the only one that ever looked for him was his mom. Bakugo never cared. Bakugo's parents, tried helping, but after a couple years they gave up. Izuku was presumed dead, when he, 5 years after he went missing, so when he was 10. Eventually, when he was, we'll say, 8 years old, All for One asked him to kill someone for him, and he refused. So All for One got upset and started torturing Izuku, straight up, causing him pain, physical pain, And eventually Izuku went through with it and assassinated this man. Now, this man does not have a name. We'll just say he's, he's important, He's we'll say he's rich. He's like a fancy clothes designer. And Izuku drops down from the ceiling, crawling through the air vents as he's small enough and skinny enough. He drops down, slitting the man's throat, and climbing back out through the same vent. He was never pinned for the murder or anything, he just did it. And eventually, 7 years later, he gets, he's had his quirk. Izuku's quirk is going to be known as smoke. He can turn into smoke, and he can, basically his power is overpowered as all hell. He can teleport. Like he can fold into the ground, disappearing in like smoke. It'll be blackish, grayish smoke, and it'll re-teleport. He can teleport behind people and stuff. And he's been trained with this quirk since he was for 7 years. So 3 years he was with 10 years altogether. He was with All for One, and 3 of those years, he didn't have a quirk. We'll say 2 of those years he didn't have a quirk. Then the third year he refused to kill someone. All for One tortured him, then gave him his quirk, then forced him to do all this stuff. And just like everything else, we start off with Bakugo at the USJ, and everything goes the same except for Zuku's there. Of course, he's wearing a robe. It's not really necessary. He just prefers to keep his face hidden. His eyes have gone red. He's killed over 72 people, just because All for One demanded of it. Him and Shigaraki are close. I mean, stupid close. Like, the other would literally kill the whole planet just to keep the other one safe. Izuku, who, is just standing by, basically standing by Shigaraki. Everything happens the same except for, one thing. Everyone goes to where they go. Froppy and Mineta don't get out of the boatyard. And Aizawa, has no one to save him, and he is getting beaten by the Nomu. That's when, out of nowhere, Zuku drops down, not Zuku, Bakugo drops down, not conjuring, catching, Kurogiri, doing the whole, move and I'll blow your ass up so bad they'll piecing you together for weeks. Kirishima does the whole, that doesn't sound very heroic. And Todoroki's free. All Might comes down. All Might's done the whole thing. But Aizawa is way worse than what he would be, and that he is in canon. Both his eyes have cuts under them. One of them, one of his eyes is literally bleeding out, like red. Like it would look like he was crying. He has a split forehead, so from one side of his forehead to the other is cut straight open. And he's being dragged off by, he's being protected by Kirishima, we'll say. And that's when, Izuku, not Izuku, Shigaraki, Jesus, get his name correct, asks Izuku, do you think you'll be able to handle that brat? And Izuku goes, please, I've handled worse. I've handled bigger villains, or I've fought bigger dogs than him. Shigaraki laughs and Izuku teleports. And All Might realizes this kid can teleport, but he starts seeing smoke teleport, or appearing in front of Bakugo. And All Might, doesn't know what it is at first, thinks it's the teleporter guy. And then the knife pops out slowly. All Might runs over to grab the knife when the Nomu runs, uppercutting All Might, and those two start a fight. Bakugo moves out of the way of the knife, but has a cut from his right eye, from his cheek. So, right above his cheekbone that connects to his eye, all the way to his eyebrow, he has a cut. It doesn't cut his eye, but he does have a scar. He's going to have a scar just like Kirishima. Bakugo makes a huge explosion, pushing the villain he doesn't know the name of yet far back. Bakugo, after the explosion, Zuku's hood falls off. Of course, he has his mask on, which is just a giant creepy smile. It's basically a gas mask. He teleports, and Bakugo's looking around, and Zuku drops down from above onto Bakugo's back, stabbing him in the shoulder. Kirishima turns, trying to help Bakugo, but that's when not Kirishima, Jesus, get the names right. Shigaraki intervenes, fighting off. Oh my god, so many names. Fighting off Kirishima. Bakugo grabs Izuku by the shoulder, flipping him onto his back, and taking off his mask. As Izuku stands up, Bakugo realizes who it is. And, Bakugo goes, Izuku? I thought you were dead. And Izuku doesn't say anything, as he throws two daggers out of nowhere. There's two round pieces of smoke pop up and two daggers fly out. In Izuku, the way he teleports, he can teleport through a dimension which is called the smoke dimension, and teleport out, and he can stay in that dimension as well. The dimension heals his wounds, and he can take other people into it. He can take objects into it and stuff. It's really good. And he keeps like an abundance of knives. He has like over 600 knives in there. He carries other weapons, like he has pistols and stuff in there for other assassination attempts. And they're basically portable. He can just pop in, pop out. Think of a magic satchel, or from the like from comics, like where Deadpool pulls random objects out of nowhere, kind of like that. But instead, he pulls out of a smoke ring. Bakugo dodges one of the knives, but the other one lands into his left, not thigh, forearm. It's getting bad, and Izuku eventually overwhelms him. And Kirishima is now defeated by Shigaraki, who's about to kill him when the rest of the pros get there, and All Might has just beaten the Nomu. Turning around, Shigaraki's like getting upset, scratching. And after All Might does the whole plus ultra punch thing, Shigaraki goes flying back towards Kurogiri. And Kirishima sits up, and Bakugo and Izuku are still fighting. And as the fight happens, Snipe takes a shot at him, shooting Izuku in the leg. And that's when Shigaraki, yells at Kurogiri to get Izuku out of there. He teleports Izuku, and Izuku falls right back into the bar as Kurogiri begins to teleport. Shigaraki, who gets shot in the shoulder and his hand, but not the rest of his legs, falls through, and Kurogiri gets away. But just a little start. It's gonna be like a little bit of a one-off series. I'm just gonna do all the events up to when up to where we are in canon. The total, so all of the people did die. Sue and Mineta died from the villains in the water. The tail dude eventually got overwhelmed and beaten to death. The rock dude, when he was fighting with Tokiyami, got grabbed while Tokiyami was fighting a group, and was beaten to death as well. Then Tokiyami was overwhelmed and was stabbed a bunch of times. And those are the three people who died. Four technically. I keep forgetting to count Mineta. Actually 5, right? Tail dude, Tokiyami, rock dude who fought with him. Yep, 5. 5 students died, and Aizawa is no longer able to be a hero. His eyes are permanently damaged. He's now permanently blind. And his right arm will have permanent damage, and almost needed to be amputated, but it didn't. Luckily, they were able to save it. He will be able to use it and of course, according to Recovery Girl, 6 to 5 years. So Aizawa agrees to continue teaching the students, but, can't be a hero anymore, so, And, we skip all the way up to, after the sports festival. It gets held back, like, almost 6 months, so it's 6 months, after the USJ attack. The sports festival happens, and, Izuku was sent to, talk to Stain instead of Shigaraki, as Izuku's a little more level-headed, and Stain, looks at him and goes, "You're just a little kid. Why are you running with a bunch of villains like them?" And Izuku explains, when he was 5, he was taken in by All For One, and even though he was tortured, he still would rather die to protect his family than to, give him up. And Stain gets kind of upset about this, and he goes, "See, even villain, starts explaining to Izuku that, what he's doing, he has to see isn't right. They tortured him, legitimately. He has scars on his body." And Izuku, is so brainwashed from everything that's happened to him, explains that if it wasn't for All for One and Shigaraki, he wouldn't be where he is today. He wouldn't have power. He wouldn't be able to take revenge on those who have wronged him. And Stain responds with, "They've wronged you more than anyone else probably could have." You know, and Izuku gets upset about this, and the two of them get into a fight, and they're in the alleyway. As they're fighting, Stain pulls out his katana to slash at Izuku, responding with, he won't kill him, but he will make sure that he won't be able to fight again. As he goes to stab Izuku, his blade goes through the smoke, kind of like Kurogiri does with Stain earlier. Izuku's hand pops up from behind through the smoke, stabbing Stain in the shoulder, and Ida comes flying out of nowhere, starting to fight Stain, who's now getting taken on by Izuku and Ida, who are no friends, and Ida doesn't even recognize Izuku as a threat. He might think he's another hero or something. And Stain goes to cut Ida, and Izuku opens a portal, taking the knife, and it opens another portal behind Stain, hitting him in the thigh as Stain falls to his leg. Onto his leg, Ida, says, "You killed my brother," doesn't kill, but Tensei, blah, 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 does his whole revenge speech. And Izuku encourages him to kill him, like Count not Count Dooku, well, yes, but, Darth Sidious and Anakin, do it, and, Ida is, is so angry and, blinded by revenge, plus this kid's, encouraging him to do it. He takes Stain's own sword and stabs him through the chest, right through the heart, killing him. No one is there to, save him, because the only reason Todoroki shows up is because of Izuku and canon, and the, Bakugo never shows up in canon. I'm not gonna make him show up now. Ida realizes what he's done, drops down to his knees and starts, crying and realizing that he just killed someone. And Izuku tells him, "Don't cry. This man hurt your family. You did the right thing." And he, convinces Ida to come with him. And, Ida goes with him. And the Aqua dude, the dude he was, he went to, work with, or for, sees the hero killer dead with his own sword through his back. And, Izuku never killed, the other dude, the other pro who was there, who Izuku didn't even know was there. Neither did Ida. And, this dude finds him. I think his name was, I can't think of the kid's name. Not kid, a hero's name. The hero, explains that he saw a young kid with smoke powers fighting Stain over an argument, and then this kid convinced that boy that you said you were, was working with you to kill Stain, and then convinced him to go with him, and then, now Ida is a criminal, and, everyone at school can't believe it, they all go, Ida would never kill anyone, no matter how angry he was at them, apparently they didn't know him that well, and Izuku and Ida walk through, and, Shigaraki turns around and goes, you got Stain the joint. That's not Stain. Who the hell is this? And Izuku goes, calm yourself, brother. This is, I believe your name is Tenya Ida, if our records show correctly. And he goes, your records? Yeah, I'm Tenya Ida. And he goes, he just killed Stain for us. And Shigaraki stands up and goes, oh, really? Maybe you can be useful. And he goes, turns and goes, Father, do you think this boy will be useful in our plans? And, All For One responds with, if you and Izuku think he will be useful, you can keep him. Basically saying, if you think that, basically calling him a dog, keep him. And at this point, now, Toga and them show up. Toga sees Izuku, who has a small cut on his cheek. During the fight with Stain, the knife grazed him but got stuck into the wall, so Stain never got to lick the blood. And she sees the blood kind of slowly dripping down Izuku's face, and she charges at him, pinning him to the ground, and starts like, "Let me make it bigger, let me make it bigger." And Izuku's like, not even fighting back. He goes, "Sure, do whatever you want." Apparently Izuku's still submissive, even if he's a villain. And Toga cuts his cheek, and Shigaraki gets kind of upset at this, kicking her off, going, "You shouldn't let people just take advantage of you." And he goes, "Why? Everyone takes advantage of you all the time." Shigaraki gets annoyed at this, and he goes, "You're not funny." And he goes, "I think I'm hilarious." And then, Toga is trying to, is on her knee. Izuku helps her up, and he goes, "So, you two are the new recruits, huh?" And then he sees Twice walk in, muscular, Mr. Compress. I can't think of the magnetism. Magnet. The guy. Either I don't know which one they went by. Guy or girl. The chains person. I think they went by guy. I don't know. I'm just gonna refer to them as they. The one with the magnetism powers. The dude with the sharp, crazy swords who looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle went wrong. And who else? Who else was there? That's it. Mustard. How could you forget Mustard? With a villain name like that. And Izuku goes, "Wow, this is a lot more than I thought it would be." And Shigaraki looks at him and goes, "We need more than this." And he goes, "These 5 are gonna... 5, wait. Mustard. Whatever, 5. These people will not suffice for the mission we're gonna have them do." Dabi gets kind of upset at this, and, starts lighting his hand on fire, going, "You want to test my power, brat?" And Shigaraki stands up and goes, "Yeah, sure. Let's go outside and see if you can die as good as your burns suggest." Someone's home. I don't know, someone's coming up here. Cool, they left. And, Shigaraki sticks his hand at him, and Dabi sticks his hand, which is on fire, and the fire burns past Dabi's own face, and Shigaraki's hand goes right past his, as Korogiri teleported Dabi's hand behind, in front of his face, and Izuku teleported Shigaraki's in front of his. And the two of them are kind of upset. Shigaraki looks at Izuku going, "Next time, let me kill a brat." Dabi, puts his hand down, and, Izuku goes, "You guys may not like it, but you're working together. Got it?" And, Shigaraki puts his hands up and goes, "Fine." And Dabi looks at him and goes, "Whatever you say, little man." And then Izuku gets annoyed, going, "Little man, how dare you?" Kicks Dabi right in the groin, who falls onto his knees, and Izuku holds the knife up to Dabi's throat, going, "Call me little one more time, and you'll be the one in the ground next." And then Toga falls in love with Izuku right there and then, as he let her cut him, plus he was kind of nice, helped her up, and he uses blades just like her hero Stain, or Stainy as she calls him. And then the training camp happens, and Izuku goes, and they're looking for Bakugo Katsuki, and Izuku, goes, "Why do we need him? You wouldn't help us even if we forced him to." And Shigaraki responds with, "Because we need him to join us because of his power." And Izuku responds with, "Why? I hate him. I'd rather kill him than everyone else on the planet." And Shigaraki goes, "I know how much you hate him for how long he bullied you those horrible 1 year." And Izuku looks at him and goes, "He was very mean." And he goes, Stain responds with, "Yeah, I can be mean too." And two of them start pulling each other's hair and hitting each other like brothers. And that's when All For One slams his fist on his desk, going, "Both of you, enough!" They both stop and go, "Yes, father." And he debriefs the group on the mission. And Izuku and Shigaraki, I believe Shigaraki stays behind, but Izuku goes because he wants to capture Bakugo personally. Bakugo, everything happens the same except for Izuku's with Muscular. And they see the little boy, and Izuku sees the horror in his eyes, thinking that, he could convince this boy to join him as well. Because he heard the boy, talk about how, beforehand, before they got up there, he was talking about how, those kids are no heroes. Heroes are useless, worthless people, with just powers that call themselves heroes. Muscular goes to kill him when Izuku holds his hand up. Muscular goes, "Oh, come on. Can I at least hurt him?" And Izuku responds with, "No. This boy has the right attitude about heroes." As he tells Muscular, "Stay back." Muscular's like, "Why?" He goes, "Because your ugly face might make him scared." Muscular goes, "Fine, I'm going off on my own." Izuku flips him off and goes, "Do whatever you want, bullhead." And Muscular jumps off. Izuku walks up to young Koda. "Are you okay, kid?" And Koda, scared, turns around going, "Who are you? How'd you get up here?" Izuku responds with, "That doesn't matter. What matters is if you're okay." And, playing to this kid's, obvious feelings, the kid goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he goes, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure. You know what they say? Everyone's a hero in their own right." And the kid looks at him and goes, "No one's a hero. Heroes are dirty, no good fakes." And he goes, "What makes you feel so strong about heroes being fakes?" He goes, "My mom and my dad were heroes before they got killed because they thought it was right to protect others who couldn't even protect themselves. They stood by and watched my family die." And Izuku, he's like, "Damn." In his head, he goes, "Oh, crap. Probably hit a nerve." And Izuku goes, "Oh, well, I'm not a big fan of heroes either." And he goes, "Oh yeah? The way you were talking about them pretty much sounded like you were a fanboy." And Izuku responds with, "I was when I was younger. When I was 5 years old, I witnessed a hero get murdered right in front of me." And, Koda looks at him and goes, "Oh." And he goes, "I never knew the hero personally, but I could hear the terror in his voice as he begged for his own life, saying he wouldn't even stop the villain if he wanted to continue doing whatever he was doing as long as he let him live." That day he realized that heroes are fakes, just in it for money and power. And, he responds with, "But my father, he's a true hero. He protects those who can't protect themselves, gives the powerless power, gives the voiceless their voices." And, he goes, "Do you want to meet him?" And Koda goes, "Yeah, yeah." And Izuku takes his hand and goes, "Come with me." And as they're walking, they walk through the forest. They run into Mr. Compress, who's running away from Todoroki. He's trying to freeze him. And, the kid's like, "Hey, wait, what's happening?" And he goes, "And this is my friend. He'll take you to my father. Right now I have to go stop some villains." And Koda's like, but you said..." And he goes, "I know what I said, but these villains are not considered villains. They're considered heroes by fakes. They're considered heroes even though all they want is money and power." And he hands off Koda to Mr. Compress, who takes him and goes, "Okay, bye," and continues running for himself. And Izuku walks forward in front of Uraraka, and standing in front of him is Uraraka, Todoroki, who else? Who else was there? The multiple arms dude, and the dude with the multiple arms, and I can't think of his name. I literally said it earlier in this what if. The dude. Nope, not Korigiri. Dark Shadow, the dude who has Dark Shadow. I want to really punch myself in the face right now. And they all like walk in front of him. And I believe I said Uraraka, Todoroki, the multiple arm dude, and yeah, so the four of them walk up, demanding that they give him back Bakugo. Izuku laughs and goes, "Why would you want that brat? He cares for no one but himself." And Uraraka responds with, "What? It sounds like you know him or something." Izuku lifts off his hood and his mask, going, "I did. When I was 5 years old, I was quirkless. He bullied me. He used to make fun of me. Once he told me I should go kill myself." And then they're like, "Oh," and Izuku starts laughing, going, "But let me guess, that's not going to stop you from trying to get him back." And they go, "Of course not. That's not who he is anymore." And Izuku laughs, going, "People don't change like that." And he goes, "But if you insist, you have to get by me." And he draws 4 blades, going, "I guess there's one for each of you." Throwing them as one of the blades goes right into Todoroki's shoulder. As he grabs it, holding it, Uraraka catches the blade out of midair. Toga, who finally catches up to Uraraka, jumps onto the multiple armed dude's back, sticking the 2 needles into him, getting a couple ounces of blood before he throws her off as she goes flying into Izuku, who catches her, and they roll, and he stands up, helping her up as she goes, "Thanks, Izuku," and he goes, "Let me cut you," and he goes, "Not right now, we're on a mission, maybe later," and she gets excited, and she's like, "Okay," and Uraraka's like, "Ew," and Uraraka starts charging at him with the knife, as he catches the knife, grabbing her by the throat, slamming her on the ground, taking her own wrist, holding the knife, stabbing herself in the stomach. As he's slowly pushing the knife in, Todoroki freezes Izuku's leg to the ground, and Dark Shadow, who's now under control, goes to break it when Toga throws her little her support item that drains people's blood right into Dark Shadow's wielder's throat, killing him, draining like 17 ounces of his blood. And she goes, "I didn't mean to kill him." And Izuku turns at her, going, "Fool, should have aimed for his leg." And Izuku, teleports his leg out of the ice and behind the ice as he continues pushing the knife into Uraraka. That's when Toga goes, "Don't kill her. I got her blood too." And he stops pushing, throwing 2 more knives at Todoroki, who puts an ice wall blocking them as Toga and Izuku make a run for it. And he goes, how many people's blood did you get?" And she goes, 3, counting that dead dude's. And he goes, "So 2. And she goes, "Yep." And he goes, "Great. Well, hopefully our plan works with just 2 things of blood." And as they continue walking, they get to the portal, right as, we'll say, Todoroki does the whole flame thing, shooting at them, but Dabi gets in the way, blocking it with his bare hand. Seeing a little bit of burn marks, he goes, "Huh, you were able to burn me." As he lifts his hand up and goes, "Let's see what type of mark this leaves on you." Lighting the whole area on fire, burning Todoroki's left arm, and hitting Tokiyami, who's dying. She didn't kill him, we'll say, because you can get stabbed in the neck with a small enough needle. I guess you could survive. And the multiple arm dude is holding his neck, trying to keep him alive, but the fire burns his beak, waking him up. And as he feels the pain in his neck and on his beak, he holds his neck and his nose, basically. And Dabi, is about to grab the portal. And doesn't Tokiyami get... Yes, there's his name. Jesus. Tokiyami gets compressed too, but we'll say instead of getting compressed, he just grabbed Bakugo and made a run for it. But Todoroki's about to grab it as he rolls forward, realizing that Miss Compress dropped it. Dabi does the whole thing. Poor little Shoto, always too late or whatever, and walks through the portal. Izuku, who's standing there, kind of pissed off, is looking around for Koda, who Mr. Compress has in his lap, who's asleep. He got hit, we'll say, Mr. Compress, when he fell, accidentally knocked out Koda. And Koda's sleeping, and, Izuku's like, he fell asleep, even with all that ruckus going on. And he goes, no, I dropped him. Izuku hits Mr. Compress over the forehead, going, dumbass, he's a kid. And Shigaraki walks over and goes, why do we have a kid? Another one? And he goes, Izuku, at this point, we should start a adoption company. And Izuku turns at him and goes, we only have 2 kids, and one of them's already my age. He goes, speaking of that, how did that Ida boy give you any information? And he goes, he wouldn't. So we pried it out of him. Of course, it ended up killing him, but we got all the information we need. And, Toga goes, plus I can use his blood to infiltrate UA. And Izuku turns at her and goes, fool, didn't you see the footage? He's now a wanted criminal. And, she goes, oh. And he goes, whatever, what information did you get? And she we'll say, All Might, deflated in front of Ida, who ran down, and Ida, Bakugo, and Kirishima are the only ones who know about All Might's weakness, because those, and Todoroki will say, and he goes, apparently All Might was weakened with the fight with Master 5 years ago. And Izuku goes, oh, it did take a lot out of Master. I figured he hurt All Might as well, but how much? And he goes, apparently he can only use his hero form for about an hour now after the fight with Nomu. And Izuku goes, so if we can drain his power or watch for whenever he's out, we could surprise attack him and kill him. And Shigaraki goes, that's the plan. And he goes, okay. And they start interrogating Bakugo, who's sitting there not saying anything until Izuku goes, let me talk to him. I can get some stuff out of him. And Shigaraki looks at him and goes, you're not going to try to kill him, are you? And Izuku's in the corner with a hood on, so Bakugo doesn't, know who he is. Bakugo saw Izuku without his mask, but didn't know it was Izuku. He just saw a green-haired boy who kind of resembled someone he used to know. But, All for One made a duplicate body of Izuku, so everyone believes he's dead. They found the body in the woods 5 years after he went missing, and Jesus. I ate some type of steak from a 99 restaurant, and it's giving me weird gas, and every time I burp it's so gross. I'm gonna go brush my teeth with acid. But Izuku, takes his hood off and walks over, pulling up a chair in front of his Bakugo, leaning on the ridge of the chair with his arm on it, looking at him going, how about you talk to your old friend? And Bakugo looks at him and goes, I don't know you. And Izuku responds with, oh, come on, Kachan. You gotta recognize my face somehow. I mean, I know father made it look like I died, but... And Bakugo cuts him off going, how do you know that nickname? And Izuku looks at him going, why, it's me, Kachan. It's Deku. And Bakugo's eyes open up and he goes, this is some type of trick. Your quirk must be able to read minds or something. And Izuku goes, no, my quirk. I'm quirkless. Or was. Not after father found me. And Bakugo's like, father? Who the hell would... Izuku never knew his father. And he goes, oh, so you call me Izuku now, huh? Why? What gave you the change of heart? Seeing my dead body make you feel bad for all the things you said to me before I went missing? And Bakugo's like, you're playing some type of mind game. And Izuku looks at him going, oh, really? Alright, ask me a question only the real me would know. And Bakugo goes, that wouldn't work. If you're a mind reader, if I knew the answer, you just read it from my mind. And he goes, oh my god. Here, I'll show my quirk. As he makes a mist portal, teleporting his hand, rubbing his Bakugo's shoulders. And Bakugo's like, wait, what is this? How come your hands are behind me, but you're in front of me? And he goes, my power allows me, or my quirk allows me to teleport anything into objects. I can also turn my body into smoke and disappear. I can also teleport. That's how I threw those knives at you. I can teleport objects through them. Watch. As he pulls Bakugo through the smoke. walking in with him, going, "There, now that you know my quirk and you're in a room of just pure smoke, no one else in the room with us, there's no one who could be feeding me information about your mind or anything. Ask me a question only I would know." And he goes, "Who's your favorite hero?" And he responds with, "It used to be All Might." And he goes, "What's your last name?" And he goes, "Midoriya." He goes, "What's your favorite color?" "Green, of course." "Why are you called Deku?" And he goes, "That's the nickname you gave me because I was useless, worthless, couldn't do anything." And Baku goes, "It really is you, isn't it?" Izuku smiles, going, "Finally! Now we can chat, talk about all the 10 years we've missed of each other." And Baku goes, "What have you become?" And he goes, "I haven't become anything besides, a villain. But that word is so ugly. I prefer vigilante, doing evil for the right reasons." And Baku goes, "You're sick, Izuku. Come with me. I can show you back to your mom. I can get you become a hero." And he goes, "I don't want to become a fake hero. Those heroes, all they want is money and power. Isn't that why you joined? To become the best? To become the strongest hero? The number one? Bakugo Katsuki? The number one hero. Did always have a ring to it when we were kids, didn't it?" Baku goes, "That's not why I became a hero. I became a hero so no one else had to go through what you went through. So no one else went missing and ended up dead 5 years later. So no parent had to see their child's body in the woods to confirm it was their child." And Izuku responds with, "Oh, I guess Mom did go through some heartache. I thought she just moved on right after. After all, she never really cared much of my issues, did she?" And Bakugo looks at him going, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Well, Mom, you see, wasn't as perfect as everyone believes her to be. Yeah, she could be kind and caring at sometimes, other times cruel and almost sadistic. Once she put a cigarette out on my leg because I said a bad word. Guess what I said? I hate the way Mom treats me. And she put 2 cigarettes out on my shoulder once, just because I said that she shouldn't drink as much wine as she does. I also remember she cut my left arm because I said blue was an ugly color. So is she as perfect as you thought she was, Kachan?" And Bakugo's eyes start to little water up, and he looks at him going, "Your mother, she's been looking for you. She still looks for you." And he goes, "That's a fat lie, and you know it. No one cares about useless old Izuku. I was gone for what? 5 seconds, and the wanted poster said missing, dead, or alive. Not wanted posters, missing posters said missing, dead, most likely, or presumed dead." And Bakugo goes, "What are you talking about?" And Izuku goes, "I remember finding this weird little missing poster. And at the very bottom, I remember seeing probably dead, poor helpless Deku." And Bakugo looks at him and goes, "That wasn't on them," as he flashes back to him and a couple of his friends when they were 6, a year after Izuku went missing, writing it on one of the missing notes Bakugo wrote, that what I just said. And he goes, "That was me when I was 6. No one else wrote that. It was my fault. I was just angry that you left. Figured that you ran away because of the things I said." And Izuku goes, "Well, I did run away because of the words you said. Remember, the last day I saw you, you told me to go kill myself and hope I got a quirk in my next life. Those words still ring in my head every day. I did technically die, and now I have a quirk. I guess you were right. So I guess I died and got another quirk in my next life." As he teleports Bakugo through the portal, as he walks through going, "This is my home now, Bakugo. This is where my family is. This is where everyone who's ever cared for me lives. And this is where I die to defend. Now you'll tell us everything we want to know, or you'll die. As, frankly, I don't care for you." As Izuku turns around the corner, walking away, as Dabi turns around going, "I guess that's my turn," cracking his knuckles, lighting his hands on fire, placing them on Bakugo's legs, leaving handprints of burn marks on Bakugo's hands. And the last thing you hear as Izuku turns and shuts the door is Bakugo screaming in pain. A couple days later, All Might bursts through the walls, figuring out where they are. Izuku's down there with Shigaraki. All Might bursts through the door, and Izuku immediately teleports him into the Mist Land. This is what we're gonna call it. All Might can't get out. They figured All Might would know. It's only Kurogiri, Shigaraki, and Izuku. Everyone else is at a secondary base. Frankly, they were too busy with their next plan, with the next part of their plans, to kill All Might. And the heroes who go to the Nomu factory find no Nomus. There's nothing in there. It's not even tech. It's an empty warehouse. All Might and the police force come in after him, but he's gone. All they see is a little boy and a tall, weird man walk through a purple portal. And All Might, a couple days later, shows up dead, with 18 stab wounds on his back, 72 in his stomach. Bruise marks from the coroner's examinations looked like he got hit with a baseball bat filled with barbed wire. He has burn marks which can only be consistent with electricity. His lungs are full with water, and frankly, his eyes were dipped in acid. His fingernails were torn off, and his teeth were all pulled out. I mean, his toes were cut off. Even his ears are gone. Anyone who could do this is so sick in the head that, frankly, I don't think they would be suited even for a mental hospital. Whoever could do this, especially to the beloved #1 hero, is no human. As Izuku's laughing, watching the news of All Might's death, holding one of All Might's ears in his hand, smiling, throwing it to the ground, turns around to Shigaraki, who's looking at All Might, who seems a little alive to be, dead. And, Izuku and Shigaraki look at him going, "Wow, I guess you're dead now." Shigaraki responds with, "Yep. Now we can have all sorts of fun with you." Izuku responds with, "All Might, I have a question for you. When you got that injury from Father, how bad did it hurt? Because I'm gonna make that pain feel like you got pricked by a cat's fingernail. Not fingernail, nail or claw. All of that pain you felt from my father's brute force power is gonna feel like a tiny, tiny mosquito bite in an ocean of pain. And we're gonna start with your toes and work our way up." As Izuku grabs this tiny little tool. By this tiny little tool, I mean a tiny hammer. It looks like something you would use to carve in metal with. He takes a tiny toothpick, placing it in between All Might's nail. Now, for any of those of you who have weak stomachs and don't want to hear what I'm about to describe, don't watch the video, because it's going to go on for a couple minutes, and I don't know when I'm going to stop, so. Izuku places the tiny little toothpick in All Might's big toe nail on his left foot, whacking it in his nail. All Might screams in pain as Izuku laughs, going, "Wow, the last person to scream like that from this tiny little object ended up dying before I got to their final toe." Shigaraki goes, "Let me have some fun, brother." And Izuku goes, "No, you always end up killing them the first 2 seconds of your fun. This is All Might. I get to torture him." And Shigaraki goes, "Why? How come you get to torture him?" And Izuku responds with, "Frankly, because I don't kill everything I touch." Shigaraki is like, "Oh, very funny. Ha ha. Anything I touch with all my fingers dies. I get it." And he goes, "No, you're just so ugly anything you touch dies." Shigaraki walks out of the room going, "Fine. I'll be watching, though. If he stops screaming at any point, it's my turn." Izuku looks at him going, "Okay." As Izuku then starts to slowly pull out the toothpick with a pair of tweezers, he dips the toothpick in salt and does it again in the same toe. He completes his process with different liquids: water, salt, acid. He even tries it with some disgusting things like dog feces, pee, and even the blood of a cow. He eventually does this on each and every one of All Might's nails, all 20 of them. After that, he pulls off the nails, slowly, making sure he takes his time so he gets them in pristine condition. As he begins to frame them, All Might stops screaming. Shigaraki walks in, going, "It's my turn." Izuku goes, No, I'm just framing these as a gift for father." And Shigaraki goes, "Oh, can I at least do something?" And Izuku goes, "Fine, but you cannot do anything I say unless I say so." And Shigaraki goes, "Fine, what can I do?" Izuku, this is his response, "On my table there should be a tiny little knife." And Shigaraki lifts it up with his pinky finger out, going, "This?" And he goes, "Yep. I want you to drag it across his tendon, which I failed the body examination in science. Draw it across the tip of his big toe, all the way up to where his ankle connects to his leg, then back down for each one of his toes." Shigaraki does this for both feet, and Izuku then takes the knife, asking Shigaraki if he can do him a favor. Shigaraki goes, "With what?" He asks him if he can get another glass case, as this bit is going to need to be framed as well. Shigaraki goes, "Okay, whatever." As Izuku begins to fully peel All Might's skin from his feet off, All Might screaming in pain as he can feel his skin rip without any pain medication at all. He's doing this and he's gonna die from the pure pain alone. But luckily, All For One has a quirk that allows him to let someone live as long as he wants them to. All For One, Izuku asks All For One to use this on All Might without All For One looking at him, as it's going to be a surprise. They just need him to live all the way until the torture is done. All For One, of course, obliges and is sitting in his medical chair receiving treatment as he's listening, not watching, to what All Might is feeling. He hears All Might screaming as he begins to smile, going, "Those boys are the best thing that happened to me since, well, me." As Izuku continues the knife, dragging all the way up All Might's leg, to his chest, down his arms, up his throat, across his face, as he peels the first layer of All Might's skin off, he pours acid, not painful acid, more like acid you'd find in, well, rubbing alcohol. More like alcohol. Yeah, we'll say more like alcohol. It feels like acid on All Might, but it's alcohol. Pure rubbing alcohol. He pours it in all of All Might's skin that is removed. All Might begins to scream in pain as Izuku flips him over onto his back and proceeds the process. All Might is now completely skinless. All you see is red. He's bleeding, and the floor is covered in red more watery like liquid. Izuku, of course, is wearing boots. Shigaraki ruined his favorite pair of white shoes. But Izuku explains that he'll dye Shigaraki's white shoes in All Might's blood. Now they'll become red, just like Izuku's. They'll be twins. Shigaraki laughs, going, "Ha ha ha, I get it, because technically we're both the brothers." Izuku goes, "Yep," as he then slowly begins to cut around All Might's ear. As he pulls All Might's ears off, All Might screams out in pain again, as Izuku is recording the whole thing. Smiles, going, "Oh, I forgot to mention, I've been filming this whole process, and it will be uploaded once I'm finished and you're dead." Oh, hello there, those of you watching. I can't wait for me to be able to do this to you. Since your symbol piece is gone, there's no one to protect you. And me and my family, well, we'll be coming for each and every one of you next. As he starts pulling All Might's teeth out, and as all people can hear is screaming, and all of a sudden, every piece of All Might's body is surgically removed, perfectly surgically removed. Everything from his skull to his entire body is hung up on a wall. As they preserve all of his body parts, his organs, his heart, his eyes, they dip them in some type of liquid that we do not have in this century, but allows it to permanently stay. And they make an All Might figure out of All Might's own body parts. They can take it apart and put it back together whenever they want. Izuku laughs as he looks at the camera, smiling, going, "To any of you watching, the League of Villains will come for you. We'll hunt you down, and we will kill you." As the video ends, we see Bakugo's horrified face as Izuku sits there laughing, responding with, "How do you like my work? It hasn't been uploaded yet to the public. We're thinking about doing it at midnight." Izuku laughing, going, "You know, if you don't give us our information soon, I'll be allowed to do that to you. But I'll make it double the pain I made it for All Might." Bakugo looks up and goes, "Why?" And Izuku looks at him going, "Well, mainly because I want to. And mostly because it's fun watching people scream and squirm like little bugs under my boot." Toga runs up to Izuku asking if she can stab him now. He puts his arm out saying fine. She digs her knife into his arm, right where you get shots, dragging it all the way down to his forearm, as she takes a big line of his blood, basically like what you would do with cocaine, sticks her tongue out, dragging her tongue all the way across the wound. Izuku dips it into the shadow, and it comes back all healed, as time does not pass the same there as it does on Earth. Toga, transforms into Izuku, looking at him, going, "Oh, cool, cool, cool." Izuku looks at her and goes, "You might not want to wear that face for much longer. As for now, it's completely harmless, but once this video is uploaded to the public, that face will be the most wanted man in all of the world." Shigaraki looks at him going, "What about me?" And he goes, "Oh, don't worry, brother. You were in the video. They'll know you were part of it." As Shigaraki, looks at him going, "So how are we going to get the boy to talk?" Izuku, looking at Bakugo, going, "I think I know a way." And Bakugo, sitting in the chair. It's a dark room. It's been about almost 4 weeks since he's been captured. And All Might's been dead for about half a week. The video just got uploaded 2 days ago. The public's horrified. Endeavor's the #1 hero, and Izuku Midori is the most wanted man alive. Well, he's wanted dead or alive. Hell, they'd pay you around 20 grand just to kill him. You don't even have to show proof of death. Izuku laughs at that, reading it off of the screen. If you can kill and confirm the death via footage or pictures, you don't need to bring the body or anything. you'll get $20 million. Izuku laughs, looking at Twice, laughing, going, how do you feel like earning $20 million? Not million, 20K, or 20,000, whatever 20K is. Mr. Twice looks at him going, sure, what do you need me to do? He goes, make a clone of me, and then we'll slit its throat, and you'll have to hold it for that, like that for a while. But then, we'll take a picture of it dead, send a fake location where we'll pick up the money. Mr. Compressed looks at him going, that's a stupid plan. And Izuku looks at him going, why? We need the money as it is. And Toga looks at him going, why don't we just rob a bank? Izuku looks at her going, and before he can say anything, Shigaraki looks at her going, that's a stupid idea. We can't even go out in public, let alone anywhere near secure places. And Toga goes, but I can. And Izuku can just just turn into smoke and follow me. And Izuku goes, no, we can make Twice do that. He can make a clone of someone, and they can steal the money. We, however, need to go on a mission. And now we see Bakugo in his room as he hears something hit the window. He tries to turn around, but he can't because he's tied down, muzzled. All of a sudden, Kirishima opens the window, walking in, and he goes, Bakugo, hey! And Bakugo looks at him like, confused, trying to say stuff. He goes, And Kirishima unties his mouth, going, hey, Bakugo, come on, man, we gotta get out of here before the villains know I'm here. And Bakugo goes, they already do, it's a trap! And, Izuku drops down onto Kirishima, grabbing him, holding a knife up against his throat, going, come on, Bakugo, or Kachan, tell me what I want or I'll kill him right here, right in front of you. And Bakugo looks at him going, no. And, Kirishima's neck starts to bleed as the knife gets pushed against it. As, Bakugo goes, nice try, but Kirishima would have used his quirk to get out of this. I know it's that blood-sucking girl. And the skin melts off of, and we see Toga, who goes, looks like your plan didn't work, Deku-kun. And Izuku goes, yeah, I guess. But at least we know he cares for this kid. If we get the real thing, maybe we can break him. That's when Bakugo goes, you touch him and I'll... And he gets muzzled by Korogiri, who goes, you should really watch your language. As Izuku walks downstairs, he hears that Twice got the money, got the money for the dead body of Izuku and from the bank. Izuku laughs, going, Twice is so greedy. As he continues walking, basically, we're going to continue this with, simple little stuff. All for One is not defeated, so the Yakuza, I think is what they're called, do not make their move yet. But, while Izuku's walking, one day he bumps into, Overhaul, and his young little daughter, as he calls her in the show. He looks at Eri and laughs and goes, Overhaul looks at Eri and laughs and goes, you should watch it, Eri. You don't want to bother this young man. As he looks down, going, sorry for my daughter's rudeness. As he sees Izuku's face, with the red eyes grinning, going, oh, it's okay. Children just have a habit of walking into my life. As he gets down on his knees, Overhaul pulling Eri back, going, I don't think we want your trouble. And Izuku stands up, going, well, actually, I want yours, Overhaul. And Overhaul starts getting worried, as, this person knows who he is, and he hasn't even done anything major yet. As all of a sudden, Overhaul has a bag over his head, and the Yakuza group tries to attack the people who, are basically his bodyguards, but by the time they get to where he was, all they see is his mask. And Overhaul sitting down, not tied up to anything. He's confused on this, and he goes, what poor kidnappers. Don't even bother tying me down. Izuku walks in the little room going, oh, don't bother, this room is made for your quirk. There's canceling powers throughout the whole room. I'm pretty sure it was your own daughter's blood that gave you those quirk-canceling bullets. We perfected the technology and made it into tiny little sensors, canceling all quirks in the room. And he goes, yeah, but doesn't that mean you're quirkless too? And he goes, well, we also found a cure for it. My necklace prevents me from being quirkless. As he puts it underneath his shirt. He goes, all of the members of the League of Villains have this power. So your bullets won't work on us. We have an antidote for it. And we want to work with you. And Overhaul looks at him going, why? You guys are just mindless villains going after chaos. And Izuku goes, I'm pretty sure you've heard of my father, Overhaul. After all, your father and him knew each other back in the good old days, didn't they? And Overhaul responds with, your father's all for one, isn't he? Izuku responds with, of course he is. Who else would have given me my beautiful, beautiful quirk? Overhaul responds with, I have no qualms with all for one. And Izuku responds with, of course you don't. But, you see, your plans are a big threat to ours. Of course, if we work together, you can have your plans, and we can have ours. And once neither of us get anything out of it, then we can try to kill each other. But until then, how about we help you mass produce your tiny little quirk-canceling bullet? And Overhaul, laughs, going, there's no way you made any progress, especially being able to erase the effects of our erasing bullets. And Izuku goes, if you want, you can try. Try using a quirk. Izuku lifts his hand out, going, try it. Blow my arm off like you know you want to. Overhaul reaches his hand out, trying it. It doesn't work. He turns, trying it on the chair, on the floor, on the walls. He's freaking out as he can't use his quirk. And Izuku all of a sudden can use his as he reaches his hand, rubbing All For One's hair, going, see, kiddo? And All For One looks up, seeing smoke in a ring with a hand sticking out of it, rubbing his head as he pushes Izuku's hand away, looking at him, going, don't call me kiddo. Izuku goes, oh, of course, whatever you wish. But, you do know we did perfect your technology and did find a cure for it. And All For One, and my father, All For One, likes your idea of taking away people's quirks, but he doesn't like what you're planning for. He likes your abilities, he likes your group, and he wants you to work for him. If not, of course, I'll have to kill you. And that's when Overhaul responds with, try it. The Yakuza will be so far up your neck. And he goes with, Yakuza? Oh, we already took care of them. And that's when Overhaul responds with, what? What do you mean? And he goes, well, your minions, all of the ones that you think are so loyal to you, we had them executed a couple days ago. The ones you've been working with are nothing more than clones, force grown in about a few days. They have the memories, they have everything except for programming that allows us to command them. They didn't know they were clones, they had no clue. Of course, the second they find out they are clones, they'll self-destruct. Your grandfather, of course, is with us. Now all we need to know is if you are. Or, not grandfather, your father. Is he Overhaul's father, the old man, or is he Overhaul's grandfather? I don't know. I don't care. Either way. Izuku goes, of course, I don't want to kill you, as I do like what you're planning. My father, of course, does not. He doesn't think it will suit his image for the world. So either you work with us, for us. I shouldn't say work with us, because you won't be working with us. You'll be working for us. Or I kill you, right where you stand right now. As Overhaul responds with, no, I won't work for you. A blade pops up into his neck, slowly pushing in. Izuku drags the knife, slitting Overhaul's throat as he falls to the ground. Izuku laughs, walking into the next room, seeing little Eri, looking at her, going, You are, well, you're saved, I should say, but not really. Of course, we'll be doing exactly what Overhaul is doing to you, but you'll be treated like part of the family. Whatever you want, I'll give you. Whatever you need, you'll have. And frankly, isn't that all you need in a family? Someone who gives you whatever you want, whatever you need, takes care of you no matter what. And Harry, scared, walks behind into a wall as she bumps into young Coda, who looks at her going, "Don't worry, we're here to help you, to save you, like heroes would." As I'll be signing out, leaving this video off with that. Yeah. My grandmother's downstairs breathing, so I'm gonna go take my pills and head off to bed. Hauser is hoping you guys had a good day, hoping you stay safe, and hoping you enjoyed. And Hauser signing out. See ya.